He's got a lot of, earth energy, so he's very grounded. Potentially it could be that you're in some ways involved with an earth sign. It could be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. But usually when I see this card, I think of the salesman and I think of financial planning, planning your financial sort of future, looking at things in that way. And I do see it as related to your creative work or the way that you earn a living. 8 of Coins is the artisan. So it's someone who plugs away at something that they love. They've got their nose to the grindstone. They're just grinding out product. They're grinding out work. And they're creating money through this. And so you may be partnering with someone who does sales for you. In other words, if you identify with this card, then you're the artisan who's doing all the work. And then Knight of Coins is the one who does the sales, or this is marketing, or it can be determining what your price points are on things or what your financial plan is. If you do all this work, it's the two. I see this as the two that go hand in hand, usually the artisan and their agent. So these could both be you, or if you relate to one or the other more, Leo, then you might want to partner with someone who fulfills the other archetype, like the person cranking out the work or the person who's going out and promoting it. So that's the opening of May for you, Leo. And I see too, you may want to consult with someone who has experience in this area. You may want to consult with someone who is known for good decision making. King of Swords is someone who has experience. He has knowledge. He has the truth. He's truthful. He's a good advisor. You see these flowering oak branches. That means experience. And so he has this harvest in his hand. And he comes both with the knowledge of the harvest and can share that with you. So I would say, especially if you're doing anything related to your work or sales of your work or promotion of your work, see if you can consult with someone who has knowledge and experience in how to do it, whether it's more production or a different way of producing things, a different way of putting things on display, a different way of, putting your wares on display. That we see in 8 of Coins that he's got all his works hanging on the walls. Or if it's a matter of, planning and marketing and sharing sales, this guy can help you. And it's possible too that this may just represent a air person. So this could be Libra, it could be Gemini, or it could be Aquarius. If you lean on the expertise, advice, or knowledge of someone who's either one of those signs or holds this archetype of the expert, of the truthful, experienced, wise one, that could be very helpful to you, Leo, in May. And one of the things too with King of Swords is that he's like, I call him my King Solomon card. He does things that are in a practical way and in a knowledgeable way. So he does things that bring the truth to the surface. In the archetypal story of King Solomon, he actually, is going to cut a baby and have to see who the mother really is. And it draws out the truth. He's really a card about knowledge, experience, and the truth. So lean on him in any of your inquiries and efforts and endeavors in terms of both producing your work, being involved in your work, engrossed in your work, loving it, as well as sales and promotion of it, and doing some financial planning. Because right now you may not have the best access to creative vision. You have a lot of motivation and, fire towards earth stuff. So basically you have a lot of passion, drive, motivation, energy to do work and complete things and kind of grind it out. But you may not have your most creative moments, Leo. Like normally you're a very creative sign. Leos rule creativity. They rule, creative expression and output. But with 3 of Wands in reverse, you may have a hard time envisioning what it is that you want to create, what you want your empire to be like. For some reason, this is just in slumber. This is in shadow. It's not in its most active form. It's in reverse. So it just tells me that you may not have access to it right now at the beginning of May. And therefore, creative vision may not be your strongest point at the beginning of May. Therefore, rely on really practical advice and expertise, perhaps from an air sign or someone who has experience in that field. Towards the middle of the May, it's funny. You have two very different dramatic things going on here. These two cards represent peace and balance and order. It can sometimes represent like being bored, things being boring, stagnancy. But really, both of them also can represent just being at peace and not having to make any decisions. So, or even compromise. Temperance is a card that has to do with finding the middle way, finding balance, arriving at peace, serenity. Sometimes it can be an alchemical card where you're balancing two opposites and therefore you come out with this third element. That's what this triangle is about on the angel's breast here. And finding balance between, being grounded here on the earth and then also one foot in the water in the emotional world. So this is really a card about finding peace, finding balance, finding serenity, and as well as, creativity. This card is a card of making decisions. Two of Swords can be about dilemma in making a choice between something and therefore checking out. But I have heard this card also referred to as peace, like when you're not choosing, when you're not taking sides. So my question to you in the middle of May, Leo, is are you experiencing peacefulness through finding the middle path, finding the middle way? Or are you finding that you're a little bit bored, that you're not taking action towards something? It can kind of go either way. Peace can be, it reminds me of this Talking Head song that says, this lyric, it's from the song Heaven, and it says, heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. So are you experiencing the heavenly side of it, or are you experiencing the boredom side of it, the stagnancy? If that's the case, take action. That's the way out of Two of Swords energy. Or if you're experiencing, just living the middle way, which is both of these cards, then, continue enjoying that. Because this other energy here in the middle of May is very charged. You might find an unexpected passion. Something's going to fire you up, is what these two cards say. And it might be something that you may resist. When this card Devil is in reverse, it's saying you might be believing in something that's false. Don't let false beliefs rule you. Don't give in or go in for the lie. Because it may take your power away. Magician is the card of personal power. It's a card of focus. It's a card of creativity, creation, innovation, synthesis. Being able to take all the elements in front of you and forge them into something new. So here's what I'm going to say about these two cards in reverse is don't give in to the belief that you are not the most powerful one in your own realm. This is a card about giving in to false beliefs, being subsumed and enslaved under someone else. This is, being your own sovereign, being in charge and command of yourself, having your own power. Both of these cards, however, are very passionate cards. So this could, in one way, relate to this storyline of if you're feeling stagnant, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling bored, you may not be connected to what is going to set you on fire, what is going to ignite your passion. You may not be feeling your own personal power. That is the low side of Devil and of Magician in reverse. However, there could be something that may ignite you, that if you are open to it and you let go of the resistance of it, both of these cards, very passionate cards, very powerful cards. So these two cards ask me the question is, what will it require for you to ignite your personal passion? What is it that connecting you with your personal power? What is in resistance? Why is that in shadow? Is it having to do with not being able to access creative vision right now? Are you feeling a little bored? because it's waiting for you. It's right under the surface. There may be something, this could just explode if you accept, like, no, I am a powerful person. I am my own sovereign. I am, creative, and I create my own world. I'm the one in charge. That's magician energy. I can create whatever I want. And, devil can actually give passion and ignite something. So which side of that are you experiencing in the middle of the month, Leo? It's worth asking that question. Towards the end of the month, you guys, Leos, might be leaving something. Might be a house, might be a job, might be there's something that you have you're ready for a new journey. There's something that you're completing. I'm seeing here around the new moon, that might be when you start feeling this. So May 6th. But it doesn't show that this is you're actually going to leave until the end of the month. So 8 of Cups is something that you're feeling a little bit weary. You're feeling tired of something, whether it's a lifestyle, a relationship, a living place, a job. It's something that you've put some TLC into, some work, some effort. That's how these 8 cups are all lined up. But you're ready to move on. You're ready for a new journey. And that's what 8 of Cups says, is that you're ready for the new cycle that's approaching. And it may be that there is someone who is an air sign who is a little bit of a challenge to that. They may even be a family member, because I'm seeing this with 10 of Cups in reverse. So if you have Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra in your family, I'm seeing it as male, but it could also be female. Someone who's usually Knight of Swords is usually very dogmatic, very active. Crusader is usually the word that I use for him. He's a crusader. He goes in, even when these towers are flaming, and he wants to go rescue someone, or he wants to take charge. He's the first one out of the gates. He's swift. He is usually pretty knowledgeable and pretty logical, but he's not the most emotional guy. So he can say things that are a little bit cutting, or he can be a little bit insensitive. And I'm seeing that with 10 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups in the upright position means the joy of the family, peace. You see the relationship of the mother and father here, and it's like all the cups are filled. Here's the end of the rainbow. We're singing, we're dancing. It's the most overjoyed. It's the most amount of cups on a card that can show up. But when this rainbow is pouring out, and I'm seeing it in relation to this Knight of Swords person, either it's someone in your family who is challenging you with your ideas of moving on from something, or it's something that it's causing strife of some sort. Either it's someone in your family that's causing strife for you, or causing your joy to pour out, or it's someone, who fulfills this archetype of Knight of Swords, sort of very gung-ho, logical, analytical, mental person. Mental not in the British sense of crazy, but mental in the sense of air sign, has mostly to do with the mind. And so Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, just don't necessarily heed what they have to say, if it's especially regarding you moving on from something. You're kind of at odds with them right now, is what I'm seeing. And don't let it drain your joy towards the end of the month, Leo. Because there is a definite new cycle happening for you. This is death, which is transformation. It's possible that relationship may be closing out. You may need to let go of that person. This card always represents an ending of a cycle and a transformation into something else. This card also is very much about transformation. So it could be a transformation of the way that your creative vision. When I look at this card, these 3 cards are kind of interesting in this column together, because this card is visionary, what you have envisioned for yourself and what you're able to create for yourself and what you want to create. But in the reverse position, it may be saying that there's a different path. There's a different vision. There's something else that's happening. And this may mean that you feel stuck or enslaved or under someone else's control, under someone else's decision-making or their influence. And so that is what may need to end. There may need to be a transformation or a release, is what I'm actually getting off of this card. A release from that old life. There's cycles of things. With this plant, it always shows that the rose can't live forever. Even if it may have been beautiful, even if it is something you want to hold on to, the leaves eventually are going to fall off, and you're going to need to transform to allow that cycle to end and start new life. I always say with the death card, you need to cut the rose so that you can collect the seeds from it and plant new life. You can't force the flower to live forever. So there's some sort of transformation in what you perhaps had envisioned and the way it's coming about through the influence of someone else or believing something that's false. And that's going to finish up with a transformation for you, an ending of a cycle at the end of the month, Leo. And if there's someone who's giving you flack, especially an air sign, and especially if they're in your family, about moving on, about moving to a new residence, or leaving a job, or leaving a project, or just changing something, don't worry about it. Don't let it drain your joy. Just see if you can connect with your personal power in the middle of the month. See if you can walk that middle road of balance, but yet impassioned. So not getting bored with all this peace and harmony and just compromise, but seeing if it can help ignite you to discovering that passion. And see if you can get some advice, rely on wise counsel regarding anything to do with your work or financial planning at the beginning of the month.